Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. As you know, in the last class of this series, we learned about the loop cut tool. The next tool in modeling tools is the knife tool. So today we will be learning about the knife tool. As soon as you hover the mouse cursor over the knife tool, you will see its shortcut key displayed, which is K. When I press K, the knife tool will become active. Now I can click anywhere on the object to draw any shape and add geometry. Wherever I click, vertices will be added. When I press enter, the geometry will be created. So in this way, we can draw any required shape on any object and work on it. For now, I will undo my actions. Whenever the knife tool is active, you will see a lot of information displayed at the bottom, which tells you which functions can be performed using various buttons. Let's take a look at the most commonly used functions, such as it's mentioned here that we can snap to the midpoint using the shift key. If I move the mouse cursor close to the midpoint and press shift, the knife tool's point will automatically snap to the midpoint. Even if the mouse cursor is not exactly at the midpoint, pressing shift and clicking will add a vertex at the midpoint with the knife tool, and the cutting process will begin. Now if I move the mouse cursor close to the midpoint on the other side and press shift, the knife tool will snap to that midpoint as well. If I then press shift and click, a point will be added at the midpoint with the knife tool. Finally, if I press enter, an edge will be created from the starting point to the ending point. In the same way, using the shift key, you can design specific shapes. I will undo the actions again so we can explore the other options. Now if I activate the knife tool by pressing K, you will notice that the next important information shows that by pressing the A key, we can enable angular constraints for the knife tool. This means that when I click while using the knife tool, pressing A will enable angle constraint, which will increase or decrease by 30 degrees. Wherever I click, I can continue cutting according to these angles. This way we can make cuts at specific angles and add edges accurately. The next option is C for cut through. If I use the knife tool and click here, move the mouse and click there, the cut or edges will only be added to the faces on the front. However, if I activate the knife tool, then press C, click here, move the mouse and click there, you will notice that cuts are added to the faces on the back side as well. This allows you to separate the upper and lower part if needed. This is how we can efficiently use the cut through features. The next option we will use is S for distance or angle measurement. If I use the knife tool and click on any point, for example the center midpoint, you will not initially see any distance or angle measurement displayed. However, if I press S to enable the measurement feature, you will notice that the distance and angle measurement are now visible. When I move the mouse cursor to the midpoint of the other edge, it shows a distance of 2 meters. After clicking and pressing enter to create the edge or cut, you can check the dimension and confirm that it measures 2 meters. I will undo the previous action. If you left click and hold on the knife tool, you will see an additional tool called the bisect tool. However, if you try to select and use the bisect tool without first selecting edges or faces in the edit mode, you will encounter an error. This is because the bisect tool requires that edges or faces be selected in order to function properly. If I press A in edit mode, the entire mesh or geometry will be selected. Then if I left click and drag, I will see a preview of where the cuts or edges will be added. Once I reach the desired position for the cut, I will release the left click and the cuts will be added in those locations. However, even after releasing, I can still adjust the position of the cuts by clicking and dragging the arrow to move them around. By clicking on the arrow, additional options are revealed, including the fill option. Initially, you might not see its function clearly, but if I check clear inner, the geometry or part on the inside of the cut will be cleared or removed. This will give you an idea of the fill function. If fill is unchecked, a hole will remain at the cut location. However, if fill is checked, the hole will be filled and a face will be created. Additionally, if I uncheck clear inner and check clear outer, then the geometry on the other side will be removed. In this way, you can use the bisect tool to create low poly logs. Instead of repeatedly adjusting the options, you can check the settings from the options at the top. This means that when you use the bisect tool, these options will already be in effect, so you will not need to check them each time. However, even after setting the options at the top, you can still adjust them from the options below if needed. This method helps streamline the process of creating low poly logs efficiently. I hope you found today's class helpful, and if you have any question, feel free to ask in the comment section. See you in the next class. Until then, take care and goodbye.